Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. How are you guys? Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let's see. Good morning to Sandra Chapman. Hello, beautiful to you too. Thank you. Hi, Sunshine Country Chickens. Winona DeMars. Hello. Hey, Moonlight View. Diane Marie. Mrs. Mom. Dancing Queen. Southern Grammy Wolf. Laura Dawn. How's everybody doing? I know it's been a really strange couple weeks with this Kiely Rodni case. You know who's throwing me through the biggest loop, though, is that SF Investigates at the moment. Let me tell you why. In my opinion, he perpetuated much of this idea that this was perhaps a murder or intentional. And I don't know if maybe he's gotten word that, there's things that have been put to rest or they've uncovered that really were not suspicious in nature, and maybe he's changed his tune. But altogether, it doesn't exactly make sense to me. Let's not forget, it was SF Investigates who put that tweet out there of Kiely Rodni's vehicle being pulled out and said that it was in neutral. In fact, I have all those things screenshotted. So let me read off. Let's go down memory lane for a moment, because he has completely changed his tune, and I have to wonder why. So on August 29th, so this is like a day or two before AWP came out with their documentary, which completely shifted the tide in belief that this was, from the belief that this was an accident to this was murder. So this is when SF Investigates is sounding the alarm. This is murder, basically. This is suspicious, okay? He said on August 29th, I think this video holds important clues. The wheels are rolling, the car is not being dragged, so it is in neutral. Ellie would not tamper with the car and put it into neutral before doing the forensics. Plus, the ignition has to be on to plus the ignition has to be on to shift gears. The car was underwater. Okay. So we saw, many of us saw the actual clip he put out where the car is free spinning. I mean, the wheels were free spinning and it was being pulled out with no problem. So it appeared like it was a neutral. Now, I know people have come out since, specialists that have said that that's what's going to happen if a car was in drive. That's what I've been hearing anyway. So it's just got me scratching my head going like, what gives? Why has he changed his tune so much? Again, maybe he has information that we don't know because he is tied up with the family. But let me now tell you what I'm seeing on social media in the Kiely Rodni Facebook page. So for those who don't know, SF Investigates actually went on the Glares channel, like maybe 2 nights ago, whatever it was. I think it was 2 days ago. Grandpa Robertson, which is Kylie's grandfather, so her mom's dad, he wrote in the comments, allegedly, from that interview, he wrote, "This is hurting us. Please move on and leave us alone, Grandpa Robertson." So I don't know if that was like him saying that to SF Investigates, like, stop speaking on our behalf, give it up. Like, we don't need your help anymore. I don't know exactly what that meant, or if that was to the general public to say, guys, please just let our family mourn. I'm really unsure of who that was directed at, but it sort of seemed like it could have been directed at SF Investigates. Not totally positive. So on Friday, there was a talk space on Twitter, and I don't know that that's been shared yet. So I'd like to play that for you. It was before SF Investigates went on any panel with Ryan Upchurch and Zavgirl, before he went on Glare's channel, before he did any of that. And I want to play that audio for you because he actually mentions things that I haven't heard anywhere else. So I thought it was interesting. Now, let me make sure everybody can hear me, right? Let me just double check. So, because I'm going to play this audio here in a second. Let me just grab it. By the way, I gathered this on Friday, so you're going to hear me speak about things that were going on Friday. I just never released it because I was planning to do a live stream. My kids got sick, kind of pushed me back a little bit. So just know that this was from Friday and it's a few days old now, but it's still interesting. Nevertheless, it's still interesting. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and play it now. On to one of these. There's a good chance this could end up being an accident or ruled as an accident, though nobody can be sure at this time. The way people who are close to this case are talking is that they believe it was more than likely just a really bad, really unfortunate accident. So I happened to listen onto one of these voice stream things today on Twitter. I can't remember what they're called, but there were some interesting highlights. I wanted to play for you real quick. It was between Steve and a couple other people who he talks with regularly. You know, Steve SF Investigates guy. And he kind of gets into the adventures with purpose, whole dilemma, the tow truck driver, and that speculation. Also, I guess Jagger and Sammy had actually, there were reports that they had a DUI 3 nights after, I think, Kiely disappeared. Hold on, I need to correct that. I do not have the information right here because I had to listen to it a couple times and then I totally got it. So I guess Jagger, on the 24th of August, he was hanging out with Sammy of all people. And I guess they got in trouble. They were hanging outside of some business, some establishment or something like that. And I think he got arrested. I still don't know if it was a DUI or what, but just know that that's what I'm talking about here. But he's going to go into that a little bit. So you'll hear that in this audio coming up. Also, thank you so much, Mountain Girl. I so appreciate you. $5 super chat says, hello, beautiful. Keep up the great work. Lots of love and support to you. Thank you so much, Mountain Girl, for being here and showing your support. I really appreciate you. Okay, guys, I'm going to continue to play this. But as it turned out, it wasn't quite that. It was just more speculation. I guess they were locked out of a store or something. I don't know. It's kind of unclear. But there's some interesting tidbits I want to play for you. It won't be a very long video. I tried to pick out the most interesting parts of what I could find. So let me go ahead and play for you what I found so far. After I told the dad and the grandfather, we obviously went to the location site. We had no idea that was set up as a reality TV set. You know, there was microphones that we didn't know about. It was all being video taped. So, you know, the reason they're so pissed is because they wanted that reaction of telling the family on camera, you know, without them knowing, like, oh my God. So that's what they're so pissed about. They didn't get that. But then, you know, it all makes sense now, but like they took us aside, like Doug said, hey, can I speak to you guys like privately? We're like, okay, but nobody's here yet. So we are privately, but you want to take us down by the water? And so he's like, he turned to me, he's like, if somebody had to do this, who would be your suspect? And I said, I thought it was a private conversation. I didn't realize that he was Mike. I said, well, right now it would be Jagger and Sam. He would be the ones that stand out. And he's like, yeah. And that's when he went into he told us the whole story about AAA driver. And I was supposed to be, then the FBI came in. I was supposed to be a huge secret. Nobody's going to say anything. And then all of a sudden, you know, of course, it comes out in their pay-per-view thing. But, you know, it was Mike. So I know the reason I'm saying this, and I know they're going to come out with a soundbite of me saying, oh, Sammy and Jagger, you know. But, of course, everybody that was on everybody's, a lot of people everybody was a suspect, you know, at one point, anybody in her orbit, you know. And, but then you look at the data, and you look at the science behind it, and you look at, you know, like,
teens, there was those teen-to-teen meetings, and those were not as private as people might think. And so there's a lot of things, a lot of other data. There's stuff that I'm, in the know about that, aren't public yet. So I'm 100% convinced it was a really tragic accident. I do think there's a chance there was another car down there with it that might have, they couldn't get her and took off and made a bad decision, but nothing like intentional. And like to force this to be a murder, and then if it comes out it's an accident, I know that what's going to happen is, this is a cover up by law enforcement for this and that reason, and that's not what the family needs. Listen, the family doesn't. The family, if this was foul play, the family wants this prosecuted. But best case scenario is this was a tragic accident. They don't want to think that their daughter and granddaughter was brutally stuffed in a car and thrown out in the lake. So. I don't know, people that run with that's fine. You have that right, but I think you should keep it contained until you have really solid proof they can back up. Because the family does, even though they're off the grid, they have representatives. You know what I mean? They've hired media people because they're getting bombarded. They've hired, like a PR person. Short term, not hired, it's a friend of theirs. But they see the shit, and
they're minors, and that's what gets me. It's gonna follow them forever.
And she's got an 8-year-old brother that sees all this too, and it's killing him, and the group stuff that are, accusing people and accusing even family, and they're it's just like, and they're calling the police and they're saying, and they're accusing me. It's like, hey, they flat out.
So the first thing I want to say to that little snippet is I'm not sure what caused SF Investigates to change his tune, because in the first interview that we listened to on my live stream, he was clearly of the idea or of the thought that this was not an accident. And he said, in fact, one of his direct quotes, if I'm getting it correctly, was this would be a colossal mistake for her to have driven herself into that water. So I'm not sure why he's suddenly taken this contrarian stance on things. Of course, I guess as he learns new information, that could be bending him or leaning him towards that outcome. But, who can be sure at this point?
Missing teen is suspicious. A news article, including stuff from the police. I'm just going to read it real quick. It's exactly what we're talking about. In the video, Adventures with Purpose make strong allegations that what happened to the missing teen is suspicious. In interviews done on other YouTube shows, Adventures with Purpose said they may release more video depending on the direction of the investigation. Adventures with Purpose has not returned multiple requests for interview. In their video, they interview a tow truck driver who said he helped someone matching the teen and her car's description in hours following the teen's reported disappearance. The Nevada County Sheriff's Office would not comment on the video, allegations made by the tow truck driver, or other speculations into the cause and manner of Kiely's death, and then gave the date that they're actually supposedly releasing her death investigation. And I want to highlight, italicize, bold, make it into this giant size that it's a death investigation. And it's tragic, but it's a death investigation. This is not being looked at in a criminal manner.
Yeah, so let me just give you, give people that are on here, because I'm at the point now where, there's some sensitive stuff I know. I'm not going to say everything I know, but some of it I just at this point, like I think it doesn't matter if it's out, especially if we were on the tow truck driver. So they took us aside and he told us about the tow truck driver story, right? It was a little different than what it was in the video, but he said that the tow truck driver. He said that they arrived in Reno and they were going to a Best Buy and they got flagged down by this tow truck driver who happens to be a huge fan of Adventures with Purpose and apparently knew they were coming in town, and they happened to, I guess, drive by him when he had just in a coffee shop seen her missing poster for the first time, even though he serviced her car 2 weeks earlier. So this wild series of events, like he services the car, supposedly shoots all this video because he's so concerned because she's talking about how does the seatbelt work and all this, and then but can't figure out if it's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, even though he would have a driver's app for AAA, on his phone. So they tell us this story, and so then that was apparently the Thursday night that Adventures with Purpose arrived in Reno. As soon as the FBI got there to the recovery site, they kicked Adventures with Purpose out. And Adventures with Purpose, it does say that, I believe in the video I've heard. I have not watched their video. I won't even watch the free version of it. But I've heard that they admit that they can kick it down. And then they came over to us, the FBI, and they were like, so what did they tell you? And so we kind of went over it, and they were like, so obviously they sent. I was staying in the same hotel as the FBI, and there was it was their card team was there, the child abduction rapid deployment team, and these guys don't fuck around. They work really fast. And keep in mind, there was also U.S. Marshals there. There was Homeland Security was there. Then you had both sheriff's departments, and you also had the Truckee Police Department. There was all kinds of different agencies, and so immediately, agents were going to AAA to, with warrants. They didn't have to get subpoenas. They just get a signed, warrant, signed by the local judge, and to get that footage, right, or and at least verify through their logs, because somebody had to call to request that service. All right, so Kiely doesn't have AAA. So anyway, this is verified really quick. Within hours, they know that this is.
Pause. So he's saying right here that this whole tow truck driver lead was shot down immediately. How would he know? You tell me, guys, how would he know? Is he in with law enforcement? I think not. How would he know that? So I'm not exactly trusting what he's saying in this particular instance. I think there is a struggle right now, and it's of egos. It's a ego-driven thing, and he is jealous. I'm just going to say it. He is jealous of the notoriety that AWP is getting for pulling her out of there and her car out of there. And that's all this is. He is now taking a contrarian stance because he cannot stand not being in the spotlight, and AWP is, period. End of story. That's what this is. Let me carry on. Also, wait, you know what? I should real quick address these super chats. Let's see. Thank you so much, Mar R. And she says, thanks, Lauren. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate everybody here. Thank you. And Steve M, love your show. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Steve M. Appreciate it. Okay, carry on.
This is marketing, right? So that was super, that's been super frustrating to deal with because I think where that was born from is there was another tip, which I don't think is a big deal itself, but at the very beginning when she went missing, there was a tip from Boca, from a campground of her possibly being there, and the family went out and actually, along with the FBI and everything, and this happened to be in the area where that person found the shirt, which wasn't hers, but the family actually went out with the FBI and they talked to the campground person and everything. So it wasn't like a super secret thing, and it was discredited really quick. It wasn't a super secret thing, but I'm pretty sure that that's where the Boca thing was born from. If you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, so we'll build on that. And so that became really.
So pause again. So how would he have knowledge of AWP's insider, Nick, the tow truck driver guy? How would this guy have knowledge that the Boca lead about the shirt that was found 2.1 miles southwest of where the tow truck driver was assisting this car with the individuals, we'll call them? Like, how would he know that that lead even existed? It didn't exist. Nobody knew about it until a little time into this case. I just think he's talking out of his arse. You know? Okay, carry on. Sorry, guys. I just have to interject.
Distracting because besides the fact that it's very easily verifiable by the FBI, and keep in mind, let's say the FBI, now people are saying, well, they're just building a case, like they don't want to tip off whoever. Well, that's bullshit. That's the first, if the FBI is involved. So lying to the FBI is a crime. And let's say, because everybody, we all know they were implicating Jagger, even though they didn't use his name. So Jagger had already told the FBI that he had come up from Napa on Saturday, the day she was missing. And he was 4 hours away. So if they found that Jagger was actually on video that next Saturday, they would have arrested him for lying to the FBI and been able to hold him for, at least a week or two, through arraignment and everything. It's just a serious crime. That's how they got all Trump's people. They didn't get them on the, they got them on the line to FBI charges. It's pretty clear that which direction it was going, and this is all just like rumor mill stuff, and they're dragging Jack. I mean, this poor kid. I mean, like literally, I was really concerned he was going to kill himself. I really was. There was a couple days there where I saw some of his statements. I was like, I think he could be suicidal,
I think I don't because I have him. Even yesterday, he was posting screenshots of what he's going through because people are still barraging him, and he's just like struggling. I feel awful for him because they're not going to let up. And even when that report comes out, they're not going to let up on this poor kid. And he's 18, but like
and he's grieving, and like I know that, like, I mean, so well, there's other stuff I don't want to say, but I saw a report last night that like about him getting a DUI like 3 nights after, which is not. I know what happened. I've got the scanner tape of that. That was not a DUI. That was, they were outside of us. Him and Sammy were out front of a store that was closed, and so it's just like things get all turned around and twisted around. But the family, it's just like, God, it's just like everybody wants, like, of course, if somebody did something to her, they want that person punished, but like, it's like people are not going to be satisfied if it's a tragic accident, and either way, there's some serious apologies by some of these kids. There should be, and I think that she like transported alcohol out there probably for them, and I don't. It's really sad, but it doesn't mean that. I guess so. To get back to the original point, they're so grateful for Adventures with Purpose finding her, but they didn't have. Then they got this other part. They're like, why why are you doing this? Like, just for clicks, just for like, you know what I mean? And that's the frustration. And people are like, oh, they're so ungrateful. They're not ungrateful. They're very grateful, but they weren't told either that this is going to turn into a reality show, you know? So I think that's where the frustration is.
Oh, that
Okay, so real quick. The thing about Adventures with Purpose is they do this going in, and the families need to be full aware that they're going into this whole op of finding that missing loved one with the understanding that it is going to be filmed. It is going to turn into a documentary that they air on their channel. That's an understood thing. Now, how they didn't know that, I don't exactly know. But it's, I guess their huge grievance is they feel like their private lives have been blown into, or turned into something that should have never been, that this should be just about Kiely Rodni. Well, let me tell you from firsthand experience with the mother, and I don't want to naysay the mother because I actually found her quite kind and everything on the phone, but she is 100% naive to the possibility of this being foul play. I'm going to say that loud and proud. She does not want to believe it. Therefore, she is putting her rose-colored glasses on and shutting off the idea. So maybe that's where SF Investigates has adapted this whole, oh, it was an accident. I don't really know, but I think the entire family is sort of delusional about and in denial. Thank you, Lex. That's the word I was looking for. In denial of just how evil this could actually be. Let's not forget, though it's a Lifetime movie. Anybody ever seen the movie? Oh shoot, what is it called? Something Among Friends, A Murder Among Friends, something Among Friends. Do you know what I'm talking about? Where two friends decide that they're upset with this other friend who is, Miss Popularity, and all the guys like her and whatever. And they decide, you know what? I've had enough of her. And they take her out. And then they hide the crime for quite a while. I think to the tune of 2 or 3 years, maybe even. And then in the meantime, the mother of the girl that was murdered the whole time is totally in denial about the friends. And while the friends are trying to derail the investigation and say, oh, it was them, it was this, it was that over there, constantly trying to deflect attention away from themselves. And then the mother comes to the understanding that it was the friends all along. And I know the mom doesn't want to believe that because that's cruel. It's horrible to imagine people you trust with your child could end up murdering you. But in this particular case, yeah, just like Skylar Nee's case. Yes, Lex, exactly. It's hard to imagine, right? But it could be just that evil. Now, it could also end up being a situation where some unfortunate event happened and somebody was in that passenger seat or that driver's seat and took Kiely into that water. They busted out the glass and got out, but they couldn't get her out. So they just walked away and pretended it never happened. That's a very real possibility too. But in that case, guess what? They need to speak up because right now, saying nothing is murder, in my opinion. It's unintentional, but it feels like murder, right? So I have so many concerns about this. Now, let's not forget too, if you follow Donna Serafina's mediumship that she does, she is always right in these cases. She is. She always sees. She saw how Gabby was murdered, which came out and was proven by the medical examiner, completely proven to be correct. Brian Laundrie, how he died against that tree. JJ and Tylee, and how their murders went down to a T, stuff that's come out in court testimony. And you know what she says about this? She says, I think it was a man, somebody was carrying Kiely Rodni, a limp Kiely Rodni, and put her in that cart. Like they shoved her in. That's what she saw. So how that ends up being where they're going to the water, that part, she's a little unclear. It's a little hazy, but she also thinks it's possible. And I hate to speak for her. I wish she was here to speak for herself. But from what I understand, that there's a possibility somebody else was in that car with her, just like we all think, right? And they got out. She bumped her head and she couldn't get out, and the person couldn't get her out. And so if that's what happened, it still feels pretty evil, right? For them to just not go make it clear with the family, just tell the truth. Then there wouldn't be such a swirl of speculation and rumor. Like, come on, just free us from this crazy weight for, the toxicology and every other thing that's going on that, that's being tested for right now. So it's kind of just a snippet of my thoughts. How's everybody else? How are we thinking here, guys? Let me read some of your comments. Donna's been spot on. Heck yeah, she has. Absolutely. And I know people get upset. Oh, you're talking about a medium. Well, you know what? She's been right, constantly been right. So yeah, I happen to value what she says. I do. She's spot on. Check It TV. Yeah, I got something to say about that too. My first concern, and we could even ask my husband this, he'd tell you, when I saw that the windows were broken, or sorry, that a window was broken and a window was down, I said to my husband, I said, what about that underwater crime scene? When they pull that vehicle out, the stuff that was in the car is going to scatter to the bottom of that reservoir. Like, any dummy would know that. But see, we want to believe that law enforcement is on their game so much that they would have sent divers down to actually find everything that, let's say, was accounted for from the video, but not accounted for when they took inventory of the vehicle, and that they would go and find this stuff. Well, they completely dropped the ball, folks. Like, who are we kidding? This is pathetic. 100% pathetic. And I back the blue 100%, and I'm calling it as I see it. Like, this is ridiculous. How many times YouTubers are gonna get to the bottom of something lately before law enforcement? Think about Gabby Petito's case. It was Red, White, and Bethune that found her vehicle. It wasn't law enforcement. Then it was the parents of Brian Laundrie, right, that found his stuff. Then in this case, it was AWP that found her. It wasn't law enforcement. Then it was Check It TV who found her things. Like, what gives? That is nuts. How many times can we drop the ball here? Right? Hi, Liz. Hi, Liz Gaspari. She says, a limp Kiely Rodni. And the name Steve came up with Donna's reading. Yes, she is consistently getting that name. I don't know if anybody's come across a person in all your research, but a Steve potentially, who does a lot of these wakeboarding tricks and things like that. That is who she keeps seeing. I think it's very interesting, and I think she gets that name for a reason. She continues to see her brother's face. Her brother's name was Steve. He's been gone for a number of years, I believe, but there's a reason why that name is coming up, I think. Hey, Evil Exists. Nice to have you here. Thank you for being here. So what does that, what relevance does that have? It could have a lot of relevance. In fact, that is why I spoke to Kiely Rodni's mother. We're talking maybe 9 days in, maybe 7. I feel like it was about 9 to 10 days in. I contacted her. First of all, I was nervous. I was very nervous to talk to her. And usually I'm not that nervous to talk on the phone to somebody, but I really was. I didn't want to bug her. I didn't want to in any way, involve myself in this. I just kind of was a spectator, and that's all I wanted to be. But when Donna picked up the Steve thing and said that this was very important, that Steve was relevant in this somehow, and I knew that she had a friend named Steve, that's when I called the mother. And the mother was so kind, so nice. And I said, listen, there's a person probably was involved with your daughter, a friend, I don't know, could have been the Steve that I've seen online, I don't know, but this person knows something. And she took that very much as a valid hint, because remember, at the time, the vehicle wasn't found, Kiely wasn't accounted for, and she took it very seriously. So after that, I believe Donna followed up with her probably within a day or two. And that's when excuse me, that's when the mother became kind of upset and was saying, please do not bother Kylie's friends. They are like something like they're innocent in this, or leave them alone. It was something along those lines. And so Donna and I were just like, whoa, she is majorly in denial that they could have anything to do with this. You can't listen to Sammy's story and not say there's something majorly wrong. Why can she not tell the story past the charging of the phones? It's a dead giveaway to me. There's something that Sammy knows. Either she was involved or she knows what happened. She is, I think, completely in the know. I can't keep myself from believing that, right? So anyway, back to the mother. She just absolutely doesn't want to think that Kylie's friends could have anything to do with it. The same was true in Skylar Niece's case. Her parents fought with law enforcement and said, there is no way my daughter's friends had anything to do with her murder. And it took a while. And then it came out that it was the friends. So I rest my case in that regard. It's just sad, you know? Now, what do we think here? What do you guys think about the tow truck driver, or we'll call him the AAA guy? Do you believe he's believable? I will tell you why I think it's possible that he is believable. Remember, in his account of seeing these individuals, that's what we'll call them, the guy and the girl that seemed like Kiely and somebody else, he specifically talks about how they are, in a sense, like trying to almost like guard the back of the vehicle. Like when one gets, like when we get close to the, how did he explain it? Gosh, I wish I had the clip right in front of me. But like they would constantly keep him front and center instead of allowing him to go to the back of the vehicle, as if they were almost guarding the back. His account was given before Kiely was found on that Sunday, right? He had probably taped that whole exchange with AWP. I'm going to guess at least a day or two before she was found. And he's talking about the back of the vehicle and how they were like trying to stop him from going to the back. That, to me, could really mean that this did happen. I don't altogether understand where it fits in, but I think it could very much be a valid and possible thing. The thing that threw me off about the AAA dude was that he was a longtime fan of AWP. That's about the only thing that threw me off. I was thinking, well, maybe he just wanted his 15 minutes, but everything else I think sounds extremely believable. And there are Seeds of Hope. Hey, how are you? I hope you're still in here. Seeds of Hope brought up a great point that there were 3 different leads about Kiely out of Boca Reservoir, or Boca. Did I say Boca Lake? Is it Boca Lake? Hopefully I said that right. There was the shirt, again, that was found 2 miles away from AWP's AAA guy. There was a searcher who came to help out with searching, and he was told the last reported sighting of Kiely was actually at Boca. Now, you have to take that one with a grain of salt because I saw it on Facebook, that the Facebook group for Kiely Rodni. So I'm not 100% on that, but we'll call it, I mean, it seemed pretty valid what was said there. And then, of course, this AAA guy. So it seems like she was definitely at Boca at one point, or somebody posing as her. Now, from the get, I said I felt like Kate Kuno could have been posing as Kiely, as an imposter of her. That was just my gut instinct. Doesn't mean I'm right, but she could so easily pose as Kiely, right? Like with the hair is about the same length. The color even looks similar. I think the height looks similar. Maybe the build is just a little off. And maybe it was because Kate was wearing bigger clothing and Kiely, we usually saw her in more fitted clothing. But I think they could be dead ringers for one another. Yeah, doppelgangers. Absolutely. Who's a content copycat? Yeah, for sure. Okay, I'm going to read some comments and then we can get into a live call-in. You guys want to do a call-in? You guys call me and you tell me what you're thinking about all this. Anything that I said that rang true for you, you tell me about it. You tell us about it, I should say. Okay, so who's posing as Kiely? Let's see. I always thought it was Kate and Jagger with the AAA guys. So did I. I totally, since the first time hearing that, thought that that was Kate and Jagger. How did he get back to the Truckee area so quickly on that Saturday morning? Let's not forget that it was around 9 a.m. Saturday morning that the mother was waiting for Kiely at Starbucks when Kiely never showed, right? So when she didn't show, I think it was within a couple hours of that she alerted the authorities, like, my daughter's missing, I can't find her. And somehow Jagger's just right back there, uh, and the thing is, they had hung out the day before too, from what I understand. Jagger, Kate, Kiely, and maybe somebody else, I'm not sure. But they'd hung out the day before and the day before that. So what does he do? Does he go back and forth 4 hours to Napa every day that they hang out? No, I doubt it. He's probably crashing on somebody's couch, or his dad even had a home there in Reno, from my understanding. So he could still very much have access to that home. I don't know. Just a guess. Kate and Jagger's body language, totally in that parking lot when they gave that interview. Oh man, the discomfort on Kate Kuno's face was like, oh my gosh, she just looked like she was going to have an anxiety attack. And it's like, why? Again, it goes back to, for me, it goes back to seeing that whole thing. I feel like she's safe. Jagger's saying he feels like she's safe. Really? Because, man, if my family member was missing, I'd be thinking of the worst possible scenario. Like, that's just how it goes. You don't think somebody's safe unless you know that they're safe. And another thing I want to make clear, I was of the opinion that this was murder long before AWP made their documentary. So I wasn't one of the, 90% that swayed their opinion. For me, it was Jagger, Kate, and Sammy that told me everything I needed to know that this was either a massive cover-up, or basically they know something. I will think that probably forever. Now let me see here. I will get you guys the number to start calling. And City Pilot, oh my God, you've grown almost 1,000. Thanks. It's just Robbie. Nice to see you in here. Let's see. I think Kate was involved for sure. I don't think it was Kate and Nate, the tow. Are you meaning Nick, the tow truck driver? He's Nick, by the way, but that's okay. Why wasn't Kate at Kiely's? What's COFL? Pardon my ignorance. I don't know what COFL is. Sorry. Did Reverend Donna do a reading on Kiely? She's done like a meditation reading. She released about 15 minutes of it. It's pretty interesting. She picks up that there's a possibility the vehicle may have like rolled at some point, like it hit. How did she put it? I'd like to remember clearly. I should have written it down, but it sounds like almost somebody is driving, not sure if it's Kiely, but somebody's in that car with her. And then they hit like a decline, like something, an edge, and then it flips the vehicle into the water. She bumps her head. The person gets out, but that person cannot get her out. That's what she picks up. I got accident vibes. We almost even went off the road accidentally. It was pitch black. Yes. Okay. So Robbie, it was you that Donna was talking to that night, I take it, right? Because she told me that she was talking to somebody about who was on location over at Prosser Reservoir. Okay. Now it all makes sense. Thank you. All right, I'm going to put the number in. Now, guys, I've never done a live call, and so please have patience with me. I'm green at this, okay? Hold on, let me get in here real quick. I'll give you the phone number. Okay, so the number you're going to call, I'll put it in the chat. Here we go. Hopefully it works. Okay, the number is 602-456-6695. Give me a call. Brother. Just 1 second, guys. It's telling me something. Learn more. Oh, okay, it's working. Ooh.
Call from Kiely Rodni.
All
To
right.
accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
1. Can everybody hear?
Hello?
Hello, caller. How are you?
Good. This is Kiely Rodni from Seattle.
Okay. Yes.
I had a thought.
Okay. What is your thought?
You know the mom of the daughter that the movie was about, that you were talking
Yes.
about?
Yes. Yes. What was it called? A Murder Among Friends or something among friends? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I know the mom, is in denial or whatever. I'm sure that lady was too.
Yes, she was.
My thought was, out of compassion and out of she's so down on social media and everything. And I think you would be the perfect person to try to interview that mom.
You think I would?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. I would love to. I think she just doesn't want to have anything to do with the public.
No, not. Oh, you mean the lady of the movie?
No,
mom?
no. I'm talking about Kylie's mother. Is that who you're talking about now?
No, not.
Oh, the mother.
talking-
Okay, I got you. Yep. Okay.
Because if it happens, I believe foul play too. But okay, so that mom had to be in such denial. Well, you said in the movie, I watched that movie.
Yes.
She was totally in denial, right? And so I think that if this turns out to be that, if that mom came on and then afterwards that it does turn out to be foul play,
yeah,
that would be the perfect person for Kylie's mom to talk to.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And you'll already have that interview out there that I'm sure one day she'll see it.
Yeah. That's such a good idea. I would be happy to. I'll have to do a little looking into that. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
But I think, I believe in a higher power, and I believe, all of that. And I just had it on my heart to call you and ask you if you could try to look into that.
Thank you so much. I'm so glad you called. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so very much.
Thank
I love
you.
your show, and I love everything that you do for this community. Thank you so much.
Well, I sure appreciate you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. How sweet. Love you, babe. Okay. Let me give you the number again. Hold on, guys. Just a second. So what I did while I was talking to her, I put on a do not disturb, but I turned it off. So it's free to call in now. Give me a call. Seeds of Hope, you are so sweet. I'm glad you're here. Thank you. Okay, so the movie she was talking about is A Murder Among Friends, I believe. Why can I not remember exactly what it was? Because I watched it pretty recently too. Let me double check this. The murder. I don't want to miss a call. Hold on, 9:59. Oh shoot. Hang on. Is my ringer not working? Let me call this number back, guys. But yes, I think it's called a murder among friends. I'll call him back. Oh, here we go.
Homework.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, lost him. Okay. Just a minute, guys. What's happening is my phone is simultaneously ringing at the same time as my computer. I don't know how to stop that. I know what I'll do. Okay, let's try this back again.
Hello.
Hi, how are you, caller?
Hey. I didn't. This is the first time I've ever called into anyone too. I'm new at this too.
Well, I'm so glad you're calling me because I'm new at this too. We can be green together, okay?
That's right. That's right. I do think that it's friends involved, and
Yeah.
the movie that y'all were referring to, that the two women just recently, well, not recently, in the past few years, got out of prison.
Oh.
And anyway, one of the girls named Karen actually lived with the family and slept in that girl's bed.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
Right. That way she could be close to the investigation and find out what was going on.
Right.
It was another girl that had ridden with them who eventually ended up telling, and it's 3 years
Yes.
this went on. And the reason that they had set up with these guys in the Camaro, because they actually found something that made them think that could have been, like a couple of guys picking her up or something.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, the mom's just in denial, and to not think Ventures with purpose.
Oh, I know.
So actually finding her, and then I think what makes this so strange is that police, maybe the car wasn't there when they had looked. I don't know, but
yeah.
Are you still there?
Oh, I'm still here. Sorry, I had to. Somebody else was calling in.
But anyway, the police. Okay, maybe the car wasn't there when they originally looked.
Yeah.
But then for them to just leave the evidence on the bottom, and that guy that found it,
I know,
check at TV or whatever, he called, and the only reason that they ended up coming to get this stuff was because all the viewers were calling and bombarding the police.
Mm-hmm.
To me, makes it so strange. It's like, are they so incompetent or covering up because it was one of their children?
That's what it feels like.
It's like,
mm-hmm.
I know. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh,
and so
gosh.
that's why people are just all over the place. And then Ryan at church, I don't think he doesn't think that the girl is real.
Yeah.
But he's been bringing out some valid points. And now this other guy's trying to get him off of YouTube altogether. And it's just crazy. I wish that they would hurry up and just come on out with this. And
I wish so too.
But anyway, I'll let someone else have a turn. I don't want to.
Well, I sure appreciate your input. Thank you so much for calling. And I hope you have a great day.
By the way, Donna.
Yeah.
Donna, I love Donna. I believe everything. She's right on it.
Oh, she's valid. 100%. Anyway. People need to listen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Even the biggest skeptics, because, hey, I was a big skeptic. And I'm sure were you a skeptic?
Yes, but I totally believe in her.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
You cannot listen to, real quick, I want to say, you cannot listen to her JJ and Kiely readings and then hear the facts of the case and not believe in her ability. It was a bird's eye view of what happened. So anybody who wants to debate that, just go listen for yourself. That's all I'm going to say.
Exactly.
It's pretty crazy.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I know it. Well, all right. Take care.
Okay, you too. Thanks so much for calling.
To your live.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, guys, I'm still taking calls. Whoever wants to call in. Let's see. In the meantime, I can read some comments. Hi, Miss B. How are you, Mrs. B? Just jumping on. Hi, Lolo. Hi, everybody. Good to see ya. Hey, Alex. Don't forget to hit the like. That'd be awesome. Yes, and subscribe. Ring the bell. I would love to have you here. It's always nice to hang out with like-minded people. Okay, here we go. Here's a call. Uh-oh. My computer. I don't know why it's doing that. I'm getting to you. Accept. There we go.
From butterfly. To accept, press 1. To send voicemail, press 2. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail.
I did.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, hi.
Good. How's everything going?
Oh, pretty good.
Good.
Hey, I just got a couple things I want to bring up.
Go for
All
it.
right. I've been noticing on some YouTubers, and I put a picture up of at the party, and there's a guy there with, he's kind of tall, and he's got a black beanie. I think he's got paper stuck inside of his fold,
Yes.
and a beanie washed up on the beach.
Okay.
If he had been in the car, he got out, lost his beanie, it was dark, and he had, couldn't find it.
Now, is this the guy? He's got lighter hair, like blonde or brown, brunette hair. Are we talking about a dark hair?
He's standing, he's beside the table, like with all the party junk on it. And
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Exactly. And
black.
it wouldn't shock me because, I know about that beanie that showed up. And now, was that from Check It TV's dive that he did? For sure.
I don't know. I don't know
Okay.
if he found it. I think someone else we washed up on the shore, though. I'm not sure who found it.
Interesting.
But, yeah, and I've been people putting 2 and 2 together that.
Yes.
And then, didn't Donna say something about a man with winter possibly or something?
Exactly. In the type of description she gives, from what I understand, there's an emphasis on the teeth. It's either spacing or something interesting that's maybe a little unusual about the teeth. Sounds like lighter or strawberry blondish hair, lighter brown, something like that.
Yeah, you can tell it's like blondish brown, like
Yes.
black, Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, so it sticks out of his hair a little bit.
Yep.
And so he might be he's a puzzle.
You never know.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you knew, but I've heard that I guess Kate and Jagger are together.
Oh, I'm not surprised. That body language was telling it.
A thing up on Instagram, Snapchat, or something of him getting out of her bed. So.
Oh, geez. Oh.
Together.
So it could be looking.
So there's a love triangle.
Oh my gosh. That was my first suspicion. Absolutely was.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
So and I know he's missing her, though. I mean, I know it was probably his first love.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. I think his heart.
And then I get a feeling that the mom, just to me, I feel like the mom, after she went to the party with these kids.
Oh, I know. I get the same feeling as you.
She acts around them.
Yeah.
Like just don't have a celebration and then the next party invite us. We'll come. I don't got it.
Yeah, I think she was being too much of a friend, perhaps. I hate to comment on her parenting, but hold on one sec. But it's pretty obvious that there was an interesting relationship between them. It was more of a friend than a parent. And I think that's the first mistake we can make, until your kids are grown. I'm still here, by the way. I just had to shoot down a phone call. But until your kids are grown, I feel like you cannot be their friend and their mother at the same time. You just can't, because they're not going to listen to you when it really counts. For example, her wanting to go to this party in Prosser. Her mother honestly should have been like, no, come to the car show with me. You can do that anytime. This is special. Let's do this together. But instead her mom was just like, oh yeah, go ahead, go to the party. Like, she shouldn't have been out that late, especially in such a drug-riddled area. It sounds like, and with this fentanyl stuff going on,
nowhere.
Oh, I know. I'm even concerned about my own 14-year-old son with this fentanyl thing. Like, I am so paranoid now that people could spike drinks with fentanyl for all we know. You know what I mean? And so maybe she doesn't understand the true dangers of this world, just how evil things can be. And that's what this is. She was just so much in denial.
My friend was grieving. One of her best friends was 15. Went to a friend's house.
And now he's on a billboard. It was just one pill.
Oh my gosh.
Just like a drug dealer, and then he's in the background. And he they killed him. Just one pill.
It's happening.
He wasn't a drug dealer or a user.
Yep.
They just said, here, take this. They put him with something else, and he died.
Oh my gosh. I know.
That was her best friend. And
yeah, I'm hearing stories like this every day now about somebody who died.
A small town in Ohio, and
yeah,
it's not. We don't live in California in the big city crap. We're a little town in Ohio.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm so sorry. Right. It's a scourge for sure. There's a scourge of fentanyl.
Tell people who are listening to this, if anybody tells you it's a perk 30,
don't listen.
Perk 30.
Amen.
Perk 30, it's fentanyl.
Exactly.
That's how they code it.
Right.
It's fentanyl.
Exactly.
That's how they code it. It's a perk 30 and it's $30.
Right. And if it's blue, unless it came out of a pill bottle that you know the doctor who gave it to you and you picked it up from the pharmacy, don't take it because you could die. Yeah. Like it's that serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how they're doing it. Perk 30. So you think it's just a Percocet 30 right now.
Yeah.
No, it's a death pill.
It is a death pill. Yeah.
Pay attention.
I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So those are the three things. The PD, Kate Jagger apparently cooked up, and those are the three. But basically, the guy with the BD, that was the focal point. I don't know if Donna could look at that picture and get a vibe off of him.
Good idea. Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. I think I have that picture on my phone. I'll forward that to her and just see if there's any particular feeling she gets. Okay.
Okay, hon.
Thank you so much.
You have a great day, hon.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, hon.
Bye. Okay, guys, I was hearing the audio sounds scratchy. How scratchy are we talking? Should I end the call in, or is it okay? Is it tolerable? I don't know of any other way to host a call in at the moment. I'm not super savvy, you guys. It's hard to hear. Okay. Do I need to turn it up? Turn it down? Turn it off? What, babe? What, Steve? Breaks up. Oh, okay. You know what? I think I know the problem. I'm going to go into the other room where my signal might be just a tad bit better. I think my internet might be kind of not so good. Was it breaking up a lot? Can you hear it? Okay. Okay, guys. Let's see if I can get a clear sound. Okay, I'm in the kitchen now, so this should hopefully be better. I'm going to go ahead and turn the voice or the calls back on. Okay, here we go. All right, phone number, I'll put it in again. Let's see. Where? 6. Okay. Numbers back. Okay, I think it was just that caller. Oh, okay. Can you hear me okay right now, guys? I've got probably a better connection in here. It's fine now. You sound fine. Okay, great. Well, I'm waiting for somebody to give me a call. Don't be scared. Give me a call. Okay, the do not disturb is off, so we're just waiting for a call. In the meantime, let me address some comments until we get a call. Okay, so you're saying, so Tara Spirit Whisper says it was just that call, Lauren. Okay, cool. Does anyone know if it's true that Kate has dyed her hair brown? I do not know that. No clue. Seeds of hope. It's tolerable, just like a bad connection. Okay. Stand by 1 second, guys. I'm going to go grab something real quick. I got to grab my water. I'm back. Still no calls, huh? Okay, Barb Watson. My phone died. It took me a minute to get back. I sent a video out that Mag's mom talked to the media. I watched a little bit, but I can watch it later. Plus, I wanted to come back here. Thank you for coming back, Barbie Watson. You know, I found out an interesting tidbit, guys. Sammy is neighbors with Mags. Sammy was first friends with Jagger. So I'm thinking Kiely met Sammy either through Jagger or through Mags. And for all we know, just my first thought here, she could have kind of had it out for him. Maybe there was a jealousy issue, you know? I could be wrong, but there are so many red flags with Sammy's story. If you evaluate it, she just can't seem to get through. She can't seem to get through her story. She gets all squirrely and weird. I don't know why it's not coming. Oh, I'll call you back. I'm sorry. I don't know why it's now not ringing properly. Okay, I'm calling you back.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Good. Am I online?
You are on, yes. Can everybody hear her? Give me a yes in the comments. I want to make sure it's back to good.
Okay. I have been a searcher in California for 14 years, but I no longer live in California, but I have property in South Lake Tahoe.
Okay.
And my son is an adult, and I just, somebody told me about this on the California DMV page.
Yeah.
That if you have a provincial license, like Kiely would have had.
Yes.
It says that at nighttime that you cannot drive from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. unless you've had your provincial license for at least a year.
Oh, so she was violating the rules. Her mother allowing her to go.
Yes.
Okay.
Unless she got her license in July, but her birthday is in September, right?
Yes.
So she couldn't have met the 1 year provincial requirement.
Yeah.
So, and you can go on the California DMV website and look at this. Now, okay, so let's assume she had not met the requirement. Then there has to be a licensed 25-year-old or guardian or older to be able to drive her or for her to be in the same vehicle. And when you turn 18, this prevention is lifted.
Okay.
So that kind of points out that maybe Lindsay thought that Sammy was the 18-year-old provincial driver.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, because we still don't even know who Sammy went to the party with, right?
Yes, because it's just what it says. During the first 12 months after you are licensed, you cannot drive between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. and cannot transport passengers under 20 years old unless accompanied by a California licensed parent or guardian or a California licensed driver 25 years or older. So even when Mags rode with her, she couldn't ride home with her after 11.
Right.
Okay? But she can't, as a provincial driver, she could not transport anybody, after these hours. And so
that's
that
very
makes
interesting.
Sense,
yes.
Right? Because I was a California parent and I don't remember this prevention, but my son is 30.
Yes.
He's been driving for
it's been a while. Yeah.
years.
For sure.
Yeah. And the other thing I want to bring up, okay, so I searched with El Dorado County.
Okay.
And my friend Shelly has been searching for 20 years when one of her relatives went missing in Fort Bragg and was never found. Okay. So Shelly drives up to the Truckee command post on Sunday. I think it was August the 13th or 4th, maybe it was the 14th. It was a week before Kiely was found. Okay. It was exactly a week after, the first major search on Sunday. So my friend Shelly drives there and she has a pamphlet about human trafficking. She's helped rescue some girls out of Sacramento and I helped her do background checks when I wasn't there. Okay, right. So Shelly wanted to talk to Lindsay and give her this pamphlet, but she was not allowed to. And it just rang a bell with me later when Doug Bishop said the same thing, that there was this media wall around Lindsay.
Totally.
And so
I've heard that. Yeah, many times.
So Shelley didn't think anything of it. She said, on weekends, that's when you get all these volunteers flood in, and, all these people, media was there, and she saw her go over, talk to media. So she wasn't, she just said it was a little strange because she talks to parents all the time of missing kids, in California and places.
Yes.
So she didn't take it personally, but it just sort of rang a bell for me later when Doug said the same thing, because, they were there like, a day and a half before the last search of Prosser. And,
right.
and there's no media. There's nothing about her greeting them and welcoming them. And I just thought,
so
wow,
weird.
That is really strange.
Yeah, well,
so it does
100%. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it does predate the fact that she was acting that way or having that protection way before her daughter was found.
I know. I think it's incredibly weird that AWP was working independently there. It sounds like law enforcement wasn't even on location, wasn't brought in. FBI wasn't brought in until the vehicle was found. The family wasn't there, except the dad and the grandpa. I think they were in the general area with SF Investigates, but they weren't even watching the search for, as AWP was searching for Kiely. I find that so weird. I would have been on the sidelines, biting my fingernails, waiting. Did they find her? Did they find her? Did they find her? And where were they? It's weird.
Well, when you had Steve Fisher, like the day they found her that Sunday, and that night you played his audio?
Yes, ma'am.
When he was very emotional?
Yep.
Okay. Right then, that's when I thought foul play. Because he said when he got to Truckee, a couple days after she went missing, because he I guess he's a drone pilot, right? He made that beautiful drone video.
He did. Yep. And you could even see the vehicle in the water. Yeah. It's crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So he said something very key. He said he was staying at, the Truckee Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a Hispanic house cleaner or hotel clerk.
Yep.
And he asked her this question because he had not seen one teenager the
right.
whole 2 weeks he was there searching for Kiely.
Mm-hmm.
And me as a searcher, I thought that was highly suspicious because I know, like, when I've done searches, and I've done 20 of them with Shelley, that you get the volunteers and you get the people coming in on weekends when they don't work. But when you search during the week, it's usually people that are retired
mm-hmm.
or they just have dedicated themselves to searching. So the fact that he's there not just on weekends, but he's there like for 2 or 3 solid weeks. And these people have claimed to love Kiely, and he sees no teenagers searching. And that was his exact words. He saw none of them.
Right.
And then the other
exactly.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, he kind of sounded the alarm on how suspect that was. Here the friends are, touting this. Oh, we love Kiely. Kylie's the best. She's so fabulous. And then they don't even come and help search for her. Like, what kind of crap is that?
Well, yeah, it's like they're being media hosed. I mean,
total media hose.
Paint on her.
Yeah.
And she's got like writing on her arms and her own handwriting on the shirt she made. And yet when the cameras are off, nobody's searching for this poor girl.
Right.
And their friend, their best friend. The other alarm that Steve popped up that Sunday that Kiely was found on your audio was he said that grandpa, the maternal grandpa, David Robertson, that's Lindsay's dad,
right?
That he said it would be a colossal failure. This is exact words. Colossal failure if his granddaughter drove into the lake because she was a mountain girl.
Thank you.
She had been driving snow.
Bingo.
Hills, and I ski up in Heavenly, and let me tell you, you're skiing at 8,000-10,000 feet. These kids are natural athletes. They have an innate sense of up and down.
This is what they do from cradle to grave.
Exactly.
Really. Yeah.
Right. And they're athletes. You don't see any fatty bumbaladdies up there,
yeah.
I mean, they're just, I mean, really.
I know.
But, okay. So now this is when the story gets strange. Okay. After she was found, now Steve's starting to run like interference that, at first he said, foul play. I think it was that night you had him on there, the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And then based on what the grandpa said, but then when Lindsay gets all funny about the reward money, that the $50,000 was advertised on those posters, right? It didn't say find her alive. It said find missing person Kiely Rodni, and it was $50,000. And so all of a sudden, $63,000 comes in, which her friend Amy, the realtor from Tahoe City, set it up on August the 7th. That's really the first day the search kicked off.
Yeah, I know.
And that Sunday, August 7th, and then it got up to $63,000. And then all of a sudden, there's this Facebook post, and she's throwing shade on AWP.
So weird.
That just set a lot of weird alarms. And the final thing I'll say, as a searcher, that check it TV. I came down hard on him in comments. Okay, because I'm old school. I'm old school. That's my. Okay, I came down hard on him because I'll tell you what. Yeah. When I searched in Fort Bragg for Kathy Lyle Madrid, and we also found David, and we found him deceased, Shelley and I and his father, back in December of 2012. Mm-hmm. David had been missing for 4 weeks. Okay, and we had searched for him a week prior, and we had volunteers from the Bay Area come in, on the weekend, which that's when you're going to get the most searchers. Okay, so when we found him, he was deceased, and it looked like a suicide. We saw the gun in his hand. His father spotted the red sweater, but we told him to hang back. You don't want to see this. Yeah. So we confirmed it, and then we called 911, and they were there within minutes. Okay, we didn't bother to call El Dorado County Sheriff. We called 911.
Good.
And we had, so the thing that was sketchy was when Chuck had found the laptop and all these items, he was so busy going live and filming underwater that I'm thinking, okay, where's the date timestamp? We have no idea exactly when this laptop was spotted. Mm-hmm. And I look back at my experience. We had on our phones, we had GPS coordinates, in their app.
Yes.
It tells you your longitude, latitude, compass reading. Okay, none of that was taken. I'm thinking, wow, he is untrained. Okay, bless his heart, he's untrained. Yes. He's out there doing good things. But then I'm thinking, later he admitted to being a Truckee resident. Wouldn't he know jurisdiction changed from when, a missing person in Prosser County, because that's where Kiely lived at the lodge in Prosser. Right. But her and the vehicle was found in Nevada County, and then everybody knew that the Nevada County FBI and California Highway Patrol had jurisdiction at this point, right? Mm-hmm. So why is he calling Truckee Police? Why is he calling?
He's calling the wrong people. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know.
This is when my mom, my old psychology degree kicked in.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm thinking there's something called mirroring. And mirroring is when you subconsciously mimic or imitate other people. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at his cute dog, Chico, the Basset Hound. It just happened to ride along when he found the laptop. He's waiting for 5 hours. Yep. That kind of reminded me of Dana Mae and her cute little hazmat dog, the Chihuahua.
Oh, interesting connection. So that's funny. Okay. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And she was out there paddling around over, like a week, at least a couple days before Kiely was found, in a kayak. And what was he paddling? His paddleboard. And then the other thing he did was he reenacted a night drive after Verna, who's a local Truckee resident. She did it on Dad's channel way before he did it. Mm. And I'm thinking, he's mimicking. He's mimicking either subconsciously or consciously. And then this whole time frame. Now, this is when it gets really sketchy.
Okay.
Because he couldn't get a hold of anybody for 5 hours. He's going live. He's got people getting into all this drama, all this involvement. But he happens to text Steve Fisher, who's the one who contacts Nevada County Sheriff's Department. What's the odds that, he would have Steve Fisher's phone number and be able to text? Okay, that to me sounded very sketchy. And it was like this writer had said on another channel, everything's now being filtered through Steve. And it's being deliberate. And that just confirms it. Mm-hmm.
It's very
I don't
weird.
know. I mean, I just thought, I don't believe in that many coincidences and this mirroring that he's doing. And in his channel, when all of a sudden the 40,000 subscribers.
Holy cow.
I called in Dolly's channel and I said, where's the local media report of his great find? Oh, this is the other thing that really set my hair on fire.
Yeah.
He did not wear diving gloves.
Oh, I know. That burned me up
Okay.
too. That burned me up. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And he's acting like he's a diver. He just held his breath and went 20 feet. He's no diver. He's like a snorkeler without a snorkel.
Right.
Okay, he didn't have an oxygen tank.
Yeah. And he goes,
had some fish.
and he goes, my way of doing this is very unorthodox, but it works. It's like, okay.
Well, there was another guy in the comment section said that Checkett was trying to use a magnet. Remember, he got one from probably from AWP. He had a big magnet on a rope. He's trying to snag the laptop with a magnet, and I'm like,
and that kills a magnet or a laptop, doesn't it? Oh gosh.
Yes, it would have degaussed it. It would degauss it. All the data, the ones and zeros magnetically stored on the hard drive would have been degaussed.
Oh my gosh. It's crazy.
So, and when he found a backpack somewhere else, he left it alone and he called law enforcement. This was before he found the laptop. He left it alone. So I think this was like his holy grail he found. And instead of being, overprotective, wanting to preserve the evidence, which he's now contaminated with all his fingerprints everywhere, he had to be he had to go live.
Be a hero. Yeah.
Make it about content, clicks and views.
Oh, and it was
100%.
He built his channel on that find, period. End of story. Like, obvious.
And after I question, why isn't the SACB, the Reno Gazette, why aren't these local outlets reporting it? And even the Daily Mail, they pay people, they have stringers all over America, and they pay $10,000 for a good story. Next thing I know, he sold the story to Sun, which is like a partner of the Daily Mail over in the UK.
Okay, yes.
And then Hilton Perez covered a story too. So that was after I raising the flag. If this is such a great discovery, why isn't it being picked up by the local media?
She
and it could be because
he
contaminated it, And it's going to be inadmissible in court with his fingerprints on everything he touched, the duffel bag, the beanie, the hairbrush, the laptop.
I know.
Any good defense lawyer is going to throw it out.
Absolutely. Yeah, it totally burned my butt when I saw that he was not wearing gloves and he's just picking this stuff up willy-nilly out of the water. And it's just like, dude, you've got to preserve this as a crime scene. That's what it should have been all along, is that underwater crime scene. And it should have been carefully taken from under the water and put into a safe place, but instead it's just like, throw whatever he's doing with it, right? It's just crazy to me.
Well, and I wrote to him, I said, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but get SAR trained. Okay, you violated Search 101 by picking things up with bare hands.
It's the worst you can do.
We put things in paper bags or sealed plastic bags. We touch nothing. Until we call the command center or law enforcement. And sometimes you got to wait 20, 30 minutes. We've never, sweetie, we have never waited more than 20 minutes. That's what the BS factor about his 5-hour wait. No way. And my 20 searches, I never had to wait. We found bloody shirts. We found a dead body.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm talking from experience that this guy, I can't believe it. He was waiting 5 hours. It just kind of fed into his drama story.
For sure. You know what rubbed me the wrong way? Oh, sorry. Real quick. Let me tell you what rubbed me the wrong way is here he was when he had his live streams and there's like tons of people in there and he's saying how he's going to shoot down anybody that takes his content and this is theft. And I'm like, dude, you are new to this. You should be grateful for anybody putting your name out there and spreading the word and getting you subs. Like, where is the appreciation for your fellow YouTuber who's going to get your name out there? Like, he was just being so cocky, so rude. And just it wasn't okay, in my opinion. Didn't like it.
And if he, like I said, when I found a connection that he texted Steve, who then got a hold of Nevada, I thought, wow, that writer is absolutely right. Everything, for some reason, the family's trusting Steve, who I found out, I don't know if it's true, he's not licensed in California. He's a photographer from LA, and he's supposedly licensed in Alabama. So why all this massive trust the family is giving him when he's now throwing shade on even Grizzly? He threw shade on her because she went up on the panel with Ryan and some other people and Dab because she was just defending her content. She was just talking about her content. So that's when I'm like, what's wrong with Steve? He went from being, to me, a hero.
Right.
I was a drone pilot. His drone video was fabulous. The AWP used it to throwing shade on everybody now and jumping on the Lindsay bandwagon about
YouTubers.
Right. Like he's really good at burning bridges is what I'm feeling from SF Investigates. Just disregarding how important everybody working together actually is. That's vital.
Absolutely.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to get off of here so other people can come on. I hope I maybe shed some light on
I
some
think
things, but
your call was so very interesting. Thank you so much for calling. What was your name again?
old school.
Old
Jody.
school. Old school. You are the one who told me about the psychic lead that led to finding that body. And I remember,
Yes, David.
yes, that
Yes,
was very interesting. Wow.
Yeah, his name was David Clement. We found him in Reno, California back in December of 2012. And that case had started to get cold after 4 weeks.
Dang.
Because we would only have volunteers on the weekends.
Gosh, what a shame, huh? Wow.
And we found him, but it was a God thing. I'm telling you, it was.
Sounds like it. Well, I love that you go out there and you search for people. And that's awesome. Thank you so much for being you.
Oh, thank you for having this channel and making, putting pieces together. You true crime content creators, we didn't have this 10 years ago.
Right.
You have really helped to accelerate finding people.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think so too. And I know we get a lot of kind of bad press here and there because of some of the stuff that gets put out is not really maybe given enough thought before it gets put out. But for the most part, I feel that it generates so much public interest that it keeps the eyes on the situation at hand and on finding that victim and finding out what happened to him, justice in the end, I think it's so important. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you too for your service.
Well, thank you. You're awfully sweet, old school. You take care. Okay. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. All right. She was a great caller too. We've had good callers, haven't we? Oh, let's see. Let me read some comments. Hey, Charles. Hi, sweetie PieLo from Chatham, Massachusetts. Great live chat. Very interesting information. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. And it's true about his money. He's worked it. Oh, let me get the call. Man, I wish that would stop. My phone keeps picking it up. Okay.
Call from Charles. To accept, press 1.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. Go ahead with whatever you'd like to say.
It's really quick. It's that Lady Tamtam said that Mag's boyfriend's name is Steve, but he goes by Ross because that's his last name. I just want you to know that.
Okay, so that is in fact his last name. So then that means Mags is together with Steve. Ross is his name. Is that correct? Did I lose you?
Well, it's an abbreviation of his last name, like Rossington or something.
Okay.
It's in your chat.
Okay. That's what I thought it was, but couldn't be 100% sure. He totally locked down his social media. So, it's kind of hard to know.
100% sure. He totally locked down his social media.
Oh, okay. I'm hearing feedback. So,
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling. Have a good day. Interesting. Steve Roscoe. That is for sure his name. That is Max's boyfriend. And man, that has me thinking a lot of things right now. Hey, Queen Bee. Welcome, girl. Hey, it's Sweetie PieLo Chats and Mods. Thank you for being here. Good to see you. Let's see. Let's take one more phone call and then oh, you know what? While we wait for a phone call, I wanted to tell you, I saw on the Facebook group. Now, I don't know if you know who Nerdy Addict is, but he's saying that Kiely's mom. So again, take this with a grain of salt. We don't know for 100% if this is for sure, but this is what he's saying. He says Kiely's mom changed password on accounts 2 days ago, allegedly locking grandpa out of account. So they're like not getting along or something, if that's true.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
Hi, it's Brenda. How are you?
Hey, Brenda. I'm fine. How are you?
Good. I've been watching the live on the case with the Kiely girl.
Yes.
Yeah, I called in a tip. I woke up to a nightmare about a week ago.
Okay.
Knowing that she was missing. I never met her. And my tip and my dream matches the tow truck driver's deal.
Wow. Interesting.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting chills.
Now, have
I've been
you?
crying since I found her.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it has been just awful, really, to imagine what she may have experienced, you know? I hope to God she wasn't conscious.
In my dream, she was terrified and aware that they were probably going to kill her. So in my dream, she
Wow.
was still alive, which is why I called it in, because I was hoping they would find her before she was dead.
Wow. So to be clear, so you had this dream before she was found or before she was missing?
I didn't know she was missing. I haven't
Okay.
been watching TV for the last 2 years. I've just been so darn depressed. It's not even funny, and TV just kind of makes it worse.
Right. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm extremely depressed. But there's a lot of connections to my family members and things that they have done with this case. So I don't know who's involved. I never met her. But the Larson family was right in the middle of my divorce. And if you go online, there's this Larson guy that's connected to politics that thinks it's okay for pedophilia, which is really disgusting.
Wait, pause real quick. You're speaking about a Larson. Are we talking about Mags Larson's family? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she was in the middle of my divorce. And when my husband and I split, the Larson family was traveling with my ex-husband, who was a horrible person, and my daughter, Katie.
Okay.
So Kiely Larson was really good friends with my daughter, Katie. And I had taken a class with Mary Larson a long time ago, which is how Katie ended up in the private school, because that it was an early childhood class, and she had showed us a thing about the Bev Boss School, which I knew nothing about. I had met Bev in Europe, so
Okay.
that's how Katie ended up in the private school, and I had no idea that Bev was Jewish until after she passed.
Oh, interesting. Wow.
Yeah, the whole thing is crazy, and then we've got Elvis all over the place, and of course she's got Jewish roots too. So I mean, the whole thing is just really, really interesting. But yeah,
Wow.
so like in my dream,
Yeah.
my husband did a lot of property management stuff, and I had no idea it was still tied a lot of properties. I didn't see any of the property stuff until I moved up here in 2003. I had no clue.
Okay.
But in my dream, I was driving up a steep hill, and my father-in-law lives in Twin Heart. And the property where he lives is elevated, and there's tons of trees.
Okay.
He's got over 100 trees on his property. And my daughters used to sled down their hill, the driveway hill. That's how steep it was.
Wow.
So in my dream, yeah, I'm driving up the steep hill, and with this guy, I don't know, the guy was doing property management or something at this property, and so he parked the vehicle because he was going to go in, and the place was nice, and I since went online and looked at her parents' home, and it was real similar in my dream. So anyway, he goes inside to do his management, and I look down, and there is a lower property. I mean, down a very steep hill. I had to walk sideways to get down the hill in my dream. And there was no grass. There was twigs, and the twigs broke beneath my feet as I was stepping sideways. But the house down below, I mean, it was over 90 degrees deep. The house down below
was a single level house, and in my dream I couldn't see a road. I could only see driveways. There was a driveway. There was a car that I later went online and looked up Kiely's car, and in my dream I wasn't sure if it was a van or an SUV, but my dream matched because there were two front seats, there was a bench seat, and then there was a back area. So, and I could only see it from the passenger side.
Okay.
In my dream, but like the tow truck driver said, there was a female and a male. Well, my dream, I went online later, the boy in my dream looked a whole lot like Jared, or whatever, or Jagger, whatever.
Jagger, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
he had brown hair. He didn't have a cap on. They both had long pants on. And he had no butt. You know how my grandsons are like that. Skinny,
my son's like that too. My son, same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I could only see him from the rear. I couldn't see his face. I didn't see. I since went online and realized that her stepdad has a beard and kind of has a hippie look to him.
He sure does. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I grew up in the 70s in California. I mean, pot was everywhere when I grew up. So
right.
My mom's got the, flower girl hairdo. So,
right.
That's probably why they were living off grid, because they were probably smoking pot. But what do I know?
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
You don't go around with short hair if you're not into, I don't know.
Right.
Your appearance sometimes makes a difference. Anyway, so anyway, in my dream, at the house down below, there was the car that looked like her car. And I could only see it from the passenger side, and there was two young people. And I was descending down the hill out of curiosity, wondering, the house looked abandoned, like maybe it was someone's, second property or something that they didn't go to, and they knew that nobody, it looked like the car and the two young people did not belong at that house. Like it wasn't really their house.
Okay.
Does that make any sense? And I was just curious. So in my dream, I'm descending down this hill, and the female, she was beautiful blonde, and her hair went halfway, I don't know, maybe a third of the way down her back. She was standing behind the car, with her hands behind her back, like they were restrained.
Which when you look at Kate in that interview, she's got her hands in front of herself.
I know.
Interesting.
I know. And see, the thing is, I don't know if it was Kiely or Kate in the dream.
Okay.
I just know it was a beautiful blonde, and they both have blonde hair.
Yeah.
So I'm just getting chills. They both the young people were skinny. And she looked well kept. She looked clean and well kept, but the look on her face, she was absolutely terrified. We've got abuse in my family, and I know what disassociation looks like. And that was the look on her face. Like she was terrified and she was disassociating, which means something traumatic had occurred.
Right.
The young man, then he walked over and he moved her to the seat behind the driver's side.
Okay.
And he tied a rope around her knees. And then the rope was a brown rope, and it wasn't thin, but it was rough like twine, but it wasn't thin. It was like at least a quarter of an inch or more thick.
Okay.
Which is really interesting, because then later online, the boyfriend posted that thing where she's like kicking him in the privates and elevating her legs. So, I mean, was it him or not? I don't know.
Man, isn't that the $1 million question? I know.
Yeah, well, he the young man, and I assumed it was a man. The hair was longer, below the jaw, above the shoulder, around that length, which matches the boyfriend.
It does, right?
The ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
He tied her knees together so she couldn't run.
Oh gosh.
And she was afraid that she was going to be killed.
I really hope this was just a dream.
I didn't see a lake. I didn't see any water. It's just that my feeling, my intuition as a mom is that these young people weren't supposed to be where they were, and they were up to something. Right. And they both, I didn't see any baseball caps or anything like that. But my ex-husband absolutely loved the 49ers.
Right. Yeah, a lot of people do, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I could care less. I don't watch football. He was into the 49ers and he was into the Oakland A's. So
I don't keep up with sports myself. Actually, my husband doesn't either, which is shocking because most men, or a lot of men, I should say, do. It's just not our deal, not our thing.
Yeah, I could care less. I mean,
Right.
he was so into it. It was just, I don't know. And then the stupid ice cream man on the old street was always playing the 49er, oh my darling deal. So yeah, that was my husband's team. So
Gotcha.
and growing up, I mean, his dad didn't care if people partied at his house. He didn't care if teens got drugged. He didn't care if they had sex in the back bedroom.
So it's real liberal, like real, like.
He just didn't care.
Let's say it's
both
fair.
of my ex-husbands' families were pretty like that, and of course, my mom had absolutely no clue. My mom was very controlling, and she wasn't going to allow me to do stuff. So there's things I didn't tell my mom.
Well, for sure, for sure, that's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, so she's gone now.
Yeah.
She would have been pissed at him if she knew. So yeah, but anyway, he just was like that. But
interesting.
And the second ex-husband, Katie's dad, after I got together with him, I found this picture of him diving into a lake without any clothes on. I'm like, oh my God.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
It was in this photo album. I'm like, that's gross.
Well, I
mean, I'm sorry.
I know.
I guess some people are into being in one with nature, but that's weird. So
I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I knew both my exes in high school, and the Katie's dad. They both smoked pot in high school, but Katie's dad was using uppers and downers. And we almost went off a cliff once. I grabbed the steering wheel to keep us from going off the cliff down the Castlewood because he had taken pills, and I didn't know he'd taken the pills, and I didn't know how to drive a stick at the time. And he's swerving all over the road, and he's heading for the cliff, and I grabbed the wheel.
Oh, geez. Well, I sure appreciate your call, and thank you for sharing your dream. It's rather interesting for sure. Thank you so much for your time today.
It is weird.
It's
just scary.
Yeah.
It's just terrifying. But I mean, this young lady lost her life.
Oh, I know.
She, regardless, and everybody's online saying, well, she shouldn't have been driving. Yeah, she shouldn't have been driving. And her mom shouldn't have let her go to the party. Yeah, but I mean, you can't.
I know.
Blaming somebody after the fact. She's gone. She should be alive.
She is. I got to grab this phone call. Thank you so much for calling. Have a good day.
All right. Take care.
Okay, you too. Bye-bye.
Call from. How to accept, press 1.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Lauren?
Yes. Hey, how are you?
Lauren?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I can hear you.
Hear you.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure nothing is askew. Hold on.
Oh goodness, I think I'm gonna try calling back.
Yeah, call me back.
You.
Yeah, call me back. I don't know why that happened. That's strange. Okay, call me back. Can you hear me now? I know. I was like, hello, can you hear me? I can't hear you. Okay, so it's echoing. Carol. Hey, Carol, by the way. Good to see you. Okay, hopefully she'll be calling back in. Now, guys, I understand that you're not going to agree with every caller, but the last thing I'll do is disrespect people when they come here, because I want everybody to know that this is a safe place for you to be able to air your thoughts, that you don't get judged. You're treated kindly, and that's how it'll always be here. Okay, I'll call her back. Oh, she's calling now. Can you hear me?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. Lauren?
Yes, can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, I don't know why it wasn't working, but I'm here. Go ahead and tell me your thoughts.
I'm gonna take the speaker, maybe it's gonna be better. Okay, is that better?
Yep, it's good.
Okay, great. I stepped outside just in case.
Okay.
Dawn, I love you. I have watched you from the very beginning, from the time you first did your live stream.
Aww.
And I so appreciate your work because your
you.
reporting is just so factual, so amazing, and I just appreciate you. And I know
Thank you.
many do. So I just wanted to say that.
Well, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, just a couple of things that I wanted to say.
Okay.
I had to back up the video because, gosh, I'm listening to you. I'm doing some disgusting housework. I'm cleaning the dirt off the top of the cabinet. And
I figured.
if anybody wants to know the easiest way to do that, you make vinegar, baking soda, and Bond soap.
Oh gosh, yes.
But anyway, I was listening to you, and I completely agree with you about is it SF investigate?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The PI.
I completely agree with you because from the get-go, he's been taking little jabs at ACP, and then as the days went on, the jabs got bigger, right? So,
yes.
And I completely agree with your thought on why is he changing his mind, here in the last few days or week or whatever it's been. I'm not sure what to think about that, but I don't know. My senses are going up there. And, he does have a history, don't you know, with AWP. In fact, AWP will not return calls, not communicate with him or anything anymore. I'm not sure where all this is from. I don't know, like, a couple of years ago when it was. But I did hear Doug and Jared when I was doing an interview here recently about the economy. They have a history with him. And did you know that?
I didn't know that they had a history outside of this case. No, I did not know that.
Yes.
Oh,
yes, they do. And I don't know what the gist of it is or how it all started, but that's why AWP will not take his phone calls or anything anymore. And it was either Doug or Jared said that here within the last week or so.
Interesting.
They didn't say why. They just said that. Yeah. So I wanted to mention that. And then I also wanted to, about law enforcement. I watched a video, I think it was last night, on the history of Prosser County. And boy, it's not a good one either.
Yeah.
Of the sheriff's department and everything. You're aware of all that?
I do, just about some of the crooked, goings-ons and things like that. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then on the mom, okay. I watched a video a few days ago, and I tell you who it was. Let me think of the name. Oh gosh, you just spoke with her at the beginning of the Mountain Girl.
Yes, Mountain Girl. Yeah.
And she said, "Yeah, did you watch that video where she said take note of the background of the speech that the mom just gave here on the Celebration of Life?"
Oh, totally. Yes.
What did you think about that?
I think she's low-key trying to tell the public to leave her the hell alone is what I get from that. That's what I feel.
But what Mountain Girl pointed out, if you look at the background while she's giving that speech, nobody's paid attention.
You're talking about in the physical background of her on camera. That's what you're saying. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. It doesn't seem like maybe the turnout. I don't know. I don't want to be rude. Never mind. Go ahead. You continue.
Well, even the people that were there, even the people that were there, nobody was looking at her. Nobody was listening. Everybody was walking around, doing other things. You would think that their attention would have been on her while she was saying these things.
You would think so.
It was so bizarre. Oh gosh, it was bizarre. So anybody that hasn't watched that, I would recommend that they do, because I don't know what to think about that either, but I thought it was very bizarre.
Yeah,
and one of the last things I wanted to say is about law enforcement in general. I wish there was some way that we could
change the way things are done, because crowdsourcing is the way to go.
It is.
You know,
Mhm.
it
Right.
is. I
Right.
mean,
I know. When
you
you
know,
when you think about it with Gabby
ahead.
Petito's case, it took a bunch of eyeballs to figure out where the heck Brian and Gabby last were. That was one incredibly important thing to never forget, is when we all come together, we can help figure things out. And the thing about law enforcement that grates my gears the most is they want to cut the public out. In a way I understand,
Exactly.
and in a way I don't understand, because a lot of eyeballs on one situation can lead to answers instead of them always keeping it so close to the vest. And then guess what? Cases go cold. Just like with Suzanne Morphew. Had law enforcement come out and said, hey, we are looking at waterways, like keep your eyes peeled for anything. Let's just say, for example, a suitcase in the water. This is what Donna saw, right? People could have gone out and checked in, let's say, the Arkansas River, whatever it was, and looked out for any possible weird things in the water, right? But they just keep it so hush hush, and it causes cases to just go cold. And I get so pissed about it.
And then everybody wonders why there's so many missing people and so many cold cases. It upsets me so much.
Me
I'm telling you,
too.
it does.
Me too. It's so
And
upsetting.
a lot of times I think, and this is another thing, you know how when someone goes missing, one of the first things they'll say is, well, you know, they're 23 years old. They can go wherever they want to. You know how they always say that, you know, they use that excuse.
Yep.
Well, I think they do that, Lauren, because they know that they don't have enough manpower to go look for all these missing people. So that's the first thing that they'll say to the public. You know, well, they're 25 years old. If they want to go missing, if they want to go somewhere, they can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it is a purposeful thing to say. So they either don't want to investigate, or they don't have the resources to investigate, or whatever it is. But the amount of missing people and the amount of cold cases in this country is phenomenal. It's disturbing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is. What is it? 600,000 a year or some crazy number like that? That should not be happening at all.
No, it's insane.
And it's like insane. They just walk off the face of the earth. Where do they go? Where do they end up? Why is there no answers?
Yeah, and I'll just say this before I close, because I don't want to take up any more of your time. But on the mom, okay?
Yes.
I kept an open mind on this from the get-go. From the very beginning, I kept an open mind, okay?
Yep.
And just like you or the people in the chat, you know, they put you know, I can put myself in her place. I only have one daughter, let's say, and just one child. Mm-hmm. And if something happened to her, how would I react, right?
Right.
So in the very beginning, she's pleading and she's pleading and she's pleading, and she wants everybody's help. Then when AWP comes in and finds the vehicle, now whether it's been debunked or not, I don't know about that post that she supposedly made about AWP will never be my hero.
I still think that was her post. I 100% think that was her post. Yes, I
do too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I sure do too, Lauren, because it sounds like her verbiage, doesn't it?
It does.
How she talks. Yes. Mm-hmm. So now you have to ask yourself, and then when she was given that little speech at the Celebration of Life, she thanked everybody who did not find Kiely and didn't thank the ones that did.
I know.
And so then you have to ask yourself why that is. And so when you start asking yourself why that is, it can take you to some different thoughts. And I'm just here to say that, and I'm not afraid to say it, because I feel like I'm a pretty fair-minded person.
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask yourself why. And I think it goes beyond being naive. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But why would you not thank the people who pulled your daughter out of the water?
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is very crazy, Lauren. I don't know what to think. And I was doing my housework and I was listening to you, and I just want to thank you. And I want to call in and say hi and just give you my thoughts on it. So.
Thank you. I'm so glad you called.
Yeah. God bless you. Bye-bye.
God bless you. Take care. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. We've had nice callers, guys. So Kiely was, in fact, born in 2005, because I've seen some conflicting word on that. Like, I've heard she was born in 2006, 2005, And if she was in fact born in 2006, then she shouldn't have been driving in the first place yet, right? She should have just had her permit. So we really don't know, though, honestly. Yeah, she would be 17 right now. Oddly enough, her favorite number was 17. I'm not sure why, but it was. She even had a tattoo of it. So could she have had some premonition that, I mean, who knows? I don't know. I don't know the reason for the 17, but I want to end this on with one last thought. The thing that's upset me a lot about this case is, so in the beginning, after I first watched Kate and Jagger, and then I watched Sammy, I started going online and I started looking at all of her considered to be close friendships. This Elsa Pekarek, people that follow her, people that follow Sammy. Oh, shoot. You know what? Let me take this and then I'll carry on my thought just a second. Are you there?
Hi, is this Lady PieLo?
This is her. Hey, can I have you hold just 1 second? I gotta finish one thought, and then I would be happy to take your opinion and all that. Just 1 sec.
Yeah.
Okay, so Elsa Pekarek, people that are in close proximity to her as far as friendships go on social media. Why is it nobody, and I mean nobody, has made any commemorative posts about Kiely being dead, about her being missing? On Truckee Tahoe's Instagram page, there was a missing flyer of Kiely, probably about 3 weeks to a month ago. And it had the least likes, quote, likes of all the posts that I had really seen on their Truckee Tahoe Instagram page. I thought that was so flippin' weird, because if her friends had supposedly gone to Truckee Tahoe High School, as well as, what was it, Forest Charter, she should have had friends upon friends upon friends. And in the end, guys, I think the saddest thing of all is that she may have had no true friends. Maybe not even one. And that is sad. So sad. And the mom being so in the dark, really, or maybe she chooses to be in the dark about the friends, just how evil they might be. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Again, what threw me off was that I didn't see any commemorative posts. And I also didn't see any footage of anything from like August 5th to the 7th, except for on Jagger's TikTok. That was it. Like, nobody had anything. That's flipping weird. Okay, sorry about that, caller. Let me go ahead and take this call, guys. Go ahead. How are you doing?
Hi. I'm okay. Thank you so much. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks so much for calling. What is your name, by the way?
I'm Trinity, Red or Blue Pill, Hi Ho, Kermit the Frog here. It's a long name.
Okay.
But I don't cover true crime. So you can just call me Trinity. And I'm actually nervous calling in because I don't cover true crime, and
no problem.
My small tiny channel is more just deep dive, bunny holes, and just trying to search for real truth that isn't always, what we're told.
Right.
And I am, I think, more of an intuitive empath, kind of like what many of your callers and people in your chat right now, where we all, just love and feel terrible for victims and those that are missing. And I totally respect all the work that everybody does in this chat. I think everybody who's very gifted can do what they do is amazing.
For sure.
What bothers me is I did a tiny video, because I don't usually do videos at all, and I'm not promoting my channel. Please don't think that.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. No, don't worry.
No, it's not that. No, it's not that. It took a lot of guts for me even to make this video, because it's not at all like something I would make. But I looked today now, which is crazy because I am looking for it now on Google search. But if you looked up on Google, Kiely Rodni tip line, and then I'd heard someone say merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
I took some screenshots, and it was really horrible. They had hoodies. They had they still have they have onesies. They have a sticker on a water bottle.
Oh, that's
and then
nuts.
it's like put on your laptop.
That's freaking
And it's
nuts.
actually a girl trying to surface to the water with her foot tied to the vehicle.
No way.
vehicle.
Are you serious? That's nuts. Oh, I'm seeing it. Holy cow. Let me
Can
show
you see?
everybody.
I put it in my video. And
I'll
I was
show,
very,
yeah.
Very
Cheers.
annoyed. Yeah, and I tagged you in the video. I sent it to you. Just in
Oh,
case
okay.
it
Cool.
would be gone.
Yeah.
Because I was actually nervous about it because actually I was covering Operation Rabbit Hole 2022 because they actually have a big, it's called Operation Rabbit Hole, and they're trying to cover up, but they're not talking about the trafficking and the fentanyl and things like that. And I know there's people who've actually tried to, even be creators and say, hey, this stuff is looking like cotton candy, be careful, be aware. And they even got a guideline strike saying you can't say that, but this creator was like, I'm trying to bring awareness so that children or young people don't take these pills that look like cotton candy and they're fentanyl.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
They did have, and so during this time, they also, what I was researching was Operation Rabbit Hole 2022, and that's a huge thing. It also goes with the RICO. They call it the RICO conspiracy, but that's actually what I was into because I was trying to understand. Is this possibly one of those scenarios where she was drug trafficked? You covered up, that they covered it up, that kind of thing, because it took on such big news. Because I feel terrible for the mother. I feel terrible for people, the family mourning. But I think asking social media for help and then getting help and not saying thank you is very.
I'm grateful.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just watching AWP's new video today, and they had a family on there, and they're still searching for their daughter, and it's going to be a part 2 because they still haven't found her. And how you can tell when parents are really they're out looking every day. They got their whole family. They're going area by area, and you can just tell when it's like really genuine, or I don't know how to explain that.
You're right. You can feel it. You can feel when it's authentic gratefulness.
Yeah.
Versus.
And it bothered me that there was like no photos. I tried looking through social media without being judgmental, but I didn't see like any photographs of her being happy, smiling. I saw a lot of photographs with her mom and stepdad and her younger brother, but she was never in any photographs. And I thought, well, why is it that all of a sudden, now supposedly that one, he's a photographer, but he's saying he's a
SF Investigates, right?
Yeah. He's saying that she went to Mexico, and stuff like that. And he's a fashion photographer. Why is it there's so many pictures of her in that beautiful dress with her long legs? It's almost to me a little bit creepy. There's so many photographs of her in that and nothing else that you can find hardly at all. And then she goes missing. So I don't want to imply anything, but at the same time, we can't close our eyes to what's happening in this world that we're in right now. I'm a huge, I want to help humanity before I leave this earth. That's all I want to do is help humanity and teach people to love one another, use technology, not love technology, and use people. It's all about, really evolving and being loving and kind. I'm really into kindness and caring and that kind of thing. So it's really hard for me. I'm actually nervous even calling because I don't want to sound like I'm judgmental because I'm not.
No, and that was my concern.
Red flags I picked up.
I know that was my concern too. I was thinking, I don't want to be judgmental of this mom. She is definitely grieving. There's no doubt in my mind. But at the same time, she comes off as such an ingrate for not being more expressive in her thankfulness of AWP finding her daughter. Like, holy moly, you should be thankful and just praising them.
And the Handmaid's Tale is her profile photo and stuff.
I noticed that.
It's very
right.
And it just, I'm just kind of freaked out because most cases don't really. I mean, I care about everybody, but this case, for some reason, as soon as I saw the photos, I got that Mean Girl Fight Club feel, and I thought, oh my gosh, she's been hurt by these girls, and I could just feel it, and I don't know why. And that's why I'm nervous calling in, because I tried calling in 2 other channels, and I felt like I was just blast off, and this took a lot of courage for me to call right now, because
I just see all these pictures of her. It makes me think of Summer Wells, where all of a sudden there's just all these pictures, and it's like, what in the world was happening? And I don't want to think that was happening, because it's possible she's just, beautiful in that dress and was radiant, and she is. But why? Like, I have children, and I'm a Gigi, and like I got beautiful granddaughters.
Kids. Cool.
I don't understand. I had pictures with my children, took lots of pictures with their vehicle, and their first vehicle. It was a big milestone.
Mm-hmm.
There's no pictures of the vehicle and that kind of thing. And now, there's just so many other thoughts on what's going on in that area by itself. I mean, there's so many missing that don't get, and and I'm wondering also, there's a thing about the sheriff being possibly, maybe people are afraid to speak up or go against for fear of what could happen to them there.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's always that situation too.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just really appalled by the merchandise. Now, when I looked on Google today,
that's crazy.
I don't see that sticker anymore. At least I don't see it. Do you still see it?
I'm seeing it. Yeah, I'm looking right now, and I see a little baby onesie and then Odd Future Kiely Rodni poster. This is so strange. Hey, sorry guys, if you can hear my husband, he is so loud. I swear it's like he it's like he swallowed a microphone. Let me shut my door. Hold on a second. Hi, you're being so loud, babe. Oh my goodness, he's so loud.
I'm going to let someone else call in. I don't want to take up more of your time. I just thank you so much for being so kind and a beautiful soul, and everybody in the chat for being beautiful people.
Awesome. Thank you.
I was very shocked about this. To me, the GoFundMe, the push for all the social media, now selling merchandise. I'm a little concerned about all that. And then not thanking AWP is all really big red flags. But if there's anything about Kiely, I just pray for justice. I pray that
Me too.
I pray for her to have justice, just like Summer Wells and everybody who goes missing. So thank you so much for your time. And
thank you. Thank you for calling. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
You too. Thank you.
Guys, that whole GoFundMe thing, I have to totally agree. Why is it when a person goes missing, the first thing the family does, and maybe it's a push from people in the sphere of the family, but they always seem to put up a GoFundMe immediately. And like with Barry Morphew, I know you guys, if you followed for a while, you know who Barry Morphew is. Suzanne Morphew's husband, who everybody believes, killed her. The first thing that family did was put up a GoFundMe. They raised probably $35,000, and God only knows where that money went. So in the case of Kiely Rodni, though, the family had a goal of $150,000, and they seem to have raised, last I checked, it was like $63,000, and then they cut it off. I still don't altogether understand why they had to raise money. Dylan Round's case is actually the only one where I didn't see a GoFundMe go up. It's strange, right? Okay, I'm going to grab this. Oh, gosh. Sorry, guys.
Call from
Barbie.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. To accept, press 1.
Come on,
to send a voicemail,
I'm accepting.
Press
2. My computer, you guys. I accepted that. That's weird. I'll call her back. Let me call her back.
Hello.
Hey, Barbie. How you doing?
All right. Who's this?
This is Lauren. Did you just try to call me, sweetie PieLo?
Oh, on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, who in the world is calling me? Yeah, I did try to call.
Okay.
Mainly, we'll try to slow it down.
Okay.
Because I'm not used to being a caller. I think in Kiely's case, a lot of people have actually started calling because this case is so strange.
It is, truly.
But I will say I started on Mel's channel. Okay. I've always been a fan of Mel. I've watched him through the Gabby Petito case. I do feel he's innocent, so I'm not trying to say he's guilty in anything.
Right, okay.
But when I was on his channel, when he started all this out, he was telling us a story that when he was younger, he knew a female, she had given him a drug, and that the guy at the party had even helped him open his door and leave. And he said, I was completely out of it. I was lost. Like, this drug really had him messed up.
Okay. Like a roofie maybe, or something more? Like a
I don't know
roofie?
what he doesn't state what the drug was.
Okay.
And he was like trying to be careful because he's like, I don't really want to like get anybody in trouble and this and that. So he's kind of careful. He didn't put no names in it. But he had stated that this female had given him something, that this male had helped him leave. And he had stated that, you know, after telling us the story of him, you know, driving off and being lost and all this stuff, and it really affected him, that this lady was mad at him. Because she was like, if you would have got pulled over by the cops and got busted, if you would have ended up in the hospital, this drug would have led back to me. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Sorry, I had to decline a call.
So then, you know, all this other stuff is happening. And I got to thinking, I was like, is Anna Mae the one he's talking about? Is Ronnie the guy that helped him leave? Not that Ronnie is really the guy's name, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I've almost feel like it's Check It TV. He has kids. He's very creepy. See, I'm going to get off of the subject, but these people are all connected.
Yeah.
As you go along, and I've watched so many different channels trying to find information and even finding new channels like Dream Chaser. The only reason a lot of us went there was because he had the Sammy interview.
Oh, absolutely. I know.
But
and with the
my
Sammy
thought was, okay, Mel's connection is the fact that he knew these people in his past. Like he even states after that story, he's like, I hang out with better friends. You know, I was at a bar, I went outside and was really sick, and these friends came to check on me. You know, so he even states, I'm around better people than I used to be. So I really did. I connected Xana and this Ronnie to that story.
Okay.
So then you look at Tony. I have been on Tony's page. I called him out weeks ago. He all of a sudden out of nowhere started acting completely different, starts telling, we're bringing back Flash Fridays, and encourages women to call in and flash their cameras.
Oh, gosh.
And he's just so disgusting. And I got to figuring out that when people would call in, if he didn't like the caller, you'll watch him up there on his switchboard and he'll mess with it. So you either can't hear them or he'll start playing other callers over them. Those are recordings. Okay. When I really figured out that it was a recording was one night he was playing this Tin Man was supposed to be the name. He even put up a profile picture because I was calling him out on it. That was a recording of Ryan when Ryan was yelling Xana Mae. I could tell. I was like, that's Ryan. These are recordings this guy's playing. Anyway, he erased all my stuff. He blocked me. And sadly, I paid $9.99 to be part of his stupid channel. I was like, I paid for this. But anyway, Xana Mae is always on there. Okay. Well, we got to asking him, how do you know Xana Mae? He claimed that she was staying up there at Prosser in her car, homeless, that he doesn't know her. And this Austin kid that he had walking around up there had seen her in her car and started talking to her. Okay. And then that's how he ended up talking to her. That's all bullshit. I swear to God, he is really sick and you'll pick up on it. He's one of those guys that you probably is going to get caught in a prostitution sting, I hope.
Hey, you are.
This man.
You are right about the feeling you get with him. And I'm sure some of my people might be fans of him, but I get some very weird feelings. I'll just put it that way.
Right. This man's still showing up in my feed. He literally is going with his wife to go meet this female. They want her baby. They want to adopt her baby. This woman, supposedly, she was wearing a mask, and the guy Junior she was with was wearing a mask. And she said that her boyfriend had kicked her out. Her mom has her other kids. And She doesn't have anything. She was living on the streets. Well, he goes around the room. He shows the bed that they have. Junior says that, you know, she stayed with him until she could get to the apartment, and they helped her get what furniture they could. You see this bed, no pillows, no sheets, no bedding. Okay, I don't know how many days later I notice in my feed again, here he is showing a picture of, look, this is the stuff you guys sent to her, which wasn't very much. There was some bowls and things like that, but it wasn't very much. There is still no sheets, pillows, or bedding. Why? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. Interesting.
This man is really creepy, and the dots are connecting with all these people, and it's a small amount. And I'm telling you, I think these people are scared because this case blows up. You don't know when a case is going to blow up.
You don't.
This case did. There's a lot of eyes and ears picking up on it. Okay, well, then you have the van guy. I don't know whether he's real or not, but listening to him really, some of the things he said caught me. I was like, wait a minute, why did he throw that description out? Because I knew everybody was going to think Jagger and Kate.
Pause real quick.
Well,
Van
if the
guy
case won't go away and you want to protect people, pin it on the X.
Hold on. Pause real quick. Van guy, you're saying is AAA driver, right? The guy.
We don't know that he's for AAA. People keep saying that.
Okay.
Now,
Tow truck guy.
This one lady the other day, okay, remember when Check It TV claimed that he was calling the cops about all that stuff and that people had flooded the lines and that's why the cops showed up? That was all lies. It is public information. So this lady looked up the dispatch calls. 3 people called in about Check It TV being out there.
Right.
Check It TV never called. Not even once. He's a liar. It's public information. This lady looked at, I heard, she showed up in my feed and I've never seen her before. I think it was T-Spiracy or something like that.
Okay.
But she pulls up the dispatch and she tells everybody, go and look for yourself. It's public knowledge. And you can look on that date and see that he never called. And only 3 people called in, and the cops did go out there. And I don't know whether it's true or not, but rumor was that the cop was like, why are you lying on YouTube, telling them that you're calling in and you've never called in? And I don't know. It's some very strange stuff. Also, I went back and watched Xana May. She put up the kayaking video again, everybody had said. And so I went and checked it out the other day. And on the beach, the truck that he is driving is on that beach. And then there is another car on the other side of it that I couldn't really see what it was. But SF, Check It TV, Xana May, Tony, they all know each other. Well, they might not necessarily know each other, but they all know Xana, if you see what I'm saying.
Well, let me tell you what I think. I may regret doing this. But ever since Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito ended up in Moab when Kylan and Crystal were murdered, I realized sometimes there are serious coincidences that do happen. Now, I'm not saying that in this case that's the case, but I do believe more in coincidences now than I ever have before. Because they do sometimes happen.
I didn't ever think Brian killed those people, but it is really funny. Moab has a really bad drug problem.
Yeah.
And if you look at Brian, he does almost look like he's on drugs. And the Kylan and them had saw Brian and them at the thing. They were witnesses. So it is a really strange coincidence how they ended up dead. But I think this really leads back to some drugs and traffickers. I mean, okay, I thought it was funny. I felt like I had seen Grady Judd do a bust around August 18th or so, 19th.
Yeah.
And he shows all these suitcases. There's not even underwear in them. I mean, they're not even attempting to hide these drugs. And I'm like, okay, she claims military, maybe they wouldn't check her baggage. It would be easy maybe for her to be a trafficker. Well, then it came out that she saves her cousin and cousins, and you can watch on there that Tatiana, however you say her name, she was a cop at a UK airport. Funny coincidence there too.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a girl that you see at the conferences and she hangs out with Sammy and stuff. Her hair's purple. Who else's hair is purple? And Sophia would probably be around their age. Another reason Xana would want to protect and get this case with people looking the other way.
Mm.
But I think Sammy and them set her up. I think May helped get her up there. I think they set her up. I think they flipped her something because Sammy didn't want to lose the fight.
Totally.
I think they beat the living crap out of her. And between being beat and the drugs, they might have overdosed her. She's a lot better girl than people really think she is.
Yeah.
I really do think she was a good girl. And I think just like Gabby, her spirit is screaming out for justice.
Heck yeah.
And we can all feel it.
Yeah. Yeah, she needs justice for sure. And I 100% agree with you. I think she was slipped something. There was an emphasis from Sammy about the drinking the same drinks crap that throws me the biggest red flag of all, that there was something in her drink for sure.
Well, look at the people that all want to make sure that we think how drunk or how drugged out she was.
Yeah.
There's only certain people that are telling that, you know, and it's like, why are you trying to make us think? And my husband usually follows cases with me. He hasn't followed this case with me. And he saw the story and he's like, she was drunk. She was at a party. She drove into the water somewhere and wrecked. And I'm like, oh my God, this story is so easily bought by people
it is.
That they thought this was going to go away.
Well, 90% of YouTube true crime thought that this was one big fat ass accident. And I'm like, hell no, this was no accident. Hell no.
There's more to this.
There's more.
More to this.
There's more for sure. Yeah.
And I see the dots connecting and I see certain channels like yours, Zav's, and Grizzly True Crime. I really like her. Yeah. But I see, you know, certain people that are like, let's get down to the bottom of this and the facts. But at the same time, some people have been scared to approach certain conversations because you straight get attacked or, well, you must be a Ryan follower if you believe that. And I love Ryan, don't get me wrong, and I respect everything, but this is my opinion. Yeah. This is my theory I've been building. So
I gotcha. Yeah. Well, I sure appreciate your call in. It's very interesting. It's food for thought. Yes. For sure.
I'm glad I was able to call because my phone was dying and I was sitting here and I was just going crazy and I'm like, I need to talk to somebody.
Well, you called the right person. Thank you so much.
Yes, you have a wonderful day, all of you guys.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, guys. Well, I should probably get off of here. I really appreciate all the calls today. Thank you for keeping it classy in the chat. And I really hope this leads to, you know, justice overall, but answers in what the heck happened to Kiely. The coward that did this or the coward that knows what happened, I hope they come forward soon. Let themselves be known because I'm sure there's somebody out there like Donna's seeing. She doesn't see stuff for just no reason from my experience of seeing her with these cases, you know. So it's my overall thought. And thanks again for being here today. I enjoyed this live stream, enjoyed all of you, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye all. See ya.